All right, so today's piece is the second piano sonata of Italian composer Salvatore Sciarrino, and yeah, I think it's not as long as I was expecting. It's only about 9 minutes and 8 pages of music. It looks very intense to play. Wow. Okay. So this is definitely more um, virtuosic than other pieces by him that we looked at. Um, And the tempo marking is just Furioso. Who performed this? Martin von der Heydt. Oh wow. Oh my god. Alcon? Holy. That is some difficult music to play. Holy crap. I like some of the names in here, like Baukult. He does the Bartok Sonata, I guess, and the Berg Sonata, the Barrios Sonata. It's like a good mix of modernist and classical music. There's a lot of Elliott Carter too, which is pretty impressive. I mean, this is kind of a crazy list here. Let me see if I can just search Sciarrino. Okay, so he has played one piece that we've covered on the channel, Perduto in una cita d'Ac from 1991, and he also does this sonata and his first sonata and De la Nuit, which is a shorter piece. Yeah, obviously very virtuosic pianist. I don't think I need to say more. Yeah, let's hear how it's done. Link to this video in the description, and I'll let you know what I think of the piece. I'm not reviewing the performance, I'm just reviewing what I think of this piece. I have a lot of Sciarrino under my belt at this point, so I think I can compare it pretty well to his body of work after this, and like piano work specifically. So should be fun. Uh, yeah, I'll see you all in about 10 minutes here. Yeah, wow, this was really entertaining and fun throughout. Yeah, never a dull moment. A couple really interesting ideas. I guess I'll just rattle those off before I try to say anything meaningful. I thought the introduction of the stack fifths, these big stacked fifth chords, was like fantastic. I really like that sound. Um, and it contrasts really nicely with all the chromatic stuff around it. Um, yeah, I just thought that was a fantastic effect, and it sounded kind of like it was falling and spiraling, and yeah. And then of course, like the use of sort of, I think it's half pedaled, and then playing these really loud chords in the extremes of the piano. Um, and then all of these fermatas, of course, are very long, so letting that ring out. It created this fantastic sound with the piano resonance, at least in this recording, that was like almost like electronic music. Like you can, yeah, it's just very colorful. Um, I see a lot of these like the alternating hand idea. I think comes back in one of his nocturnes. Um, as do some of these other ideas. But I can see why he titled this one Sonata because it's a much more cohesive application of all these materials, and it's much more virtuosic than the nocturnes. Um, yeah, the top reply here is this is the best Sciarrino sonata, and that's a fact. Fight me. And it's kind of entertaining how people are reacting. I think I didn't realize it, but there's actually four sonatas. Uh, One of these commenters says it's the most texturally interesting one and has a perfect balance between low and high sounds. Um, so not sure how true that is because this is the first one we've listened to together. A lot of people really hate on it though, which I'm surprised. I guess because this video has a certain number of views. It's a lot of hate for 4,000 views. I'm kind of a bit surprised, but maybe there's something about these sonatas. The Sicilian composer Salvatore Sciarrino has written 5 piano sonatas published together by Ricordi. Most are to be played very quickly. The third sonata is marked as fast as possible. Sequences of grace notes can seem slower and more articulated than the passages they accompany. Um, that's an interesting idea. Definitely an influence of Stockhausen's Klavierstück 10 is what they're saying here at least. What I find interesting is the emphasis on tempo in this description because I think almost all of the nocturnes were much slower, like very slow. So maybe that's a way of distinguishing the two series of pieces. Yeah, the first sonata is looks like this. I think I might have it. Reminiscent of Franco Donatoni. The other sonatas I do not have scores for, so unfortunately we won't get into them, but I think it's pretty intriguing how some of them look on the page. It's kind of cool. Well, that was pretty pleasant. I'm glad I did this. I had a really long shift, which I just got off of at work. So I wasn't able to, if this was a more boring piece, I don't think I would have been able to pay attention, but because it was so like rousing and intense, I was able to kind of, you know, follow along, not fall asleep. The next piece we're looking at is a sonata by Hinastera. Uh, Believe it or not, his third piano sonata was written all the way in 1982, so very late career piece. It'll be fun. We haven't. This will be our first Hinastera episode. Never talked about any Argentinian composers yet, so yeah, it'll be cool. Long overdue.